Hello, hello, my sweet, sweet Virgs. How are y'all doing today? How are you doing today? Hope you had a lovely holiday season. Let's see what we get. Got the riddle in the beginning. Thanatos, the mystic, and the stone. I mean, what I want to say for these four cards is, just kind of the riddle, the confusion of how do I get out of this web that I've woven. Woven? That's a funny sounding word. Sorry. And then the mystic and the stone. And, the mystic is like a card of high intuition, and just kind of feeling, I want to say, anchored in your intuition. The idea of the stone is that, it's never changing but ever changing, and that, it's anchored you into something. I want to say you're anchored into your intuition, honestly. The castle popped out with Kairos. The crone. Castle and Kairos. I don't know. Okay. I mean, the castle has been in your reads previously. The idea that, you have this perfect idea in your mind as to how all of this should play out. I feel like part of the, your detail-oriented ways, you are able to create these really intricate ideas and dream up these scenarios that almost has like a Piscean energy to it, of just this like fantasy. And I feel like that's kind of what you're trapped in right now and confused by, because I almost want to say that it's like you're words. It's the idea that you have this image in mind, and you're still kind of caught in this idea of image, and it's not even that. And I think the confusing element of it, or behind it, is the idea that it's not, I want to say, like, far out of alignment with what you really, I think, are seeking. It's just the idea of that singularity, like the puzzle piece, like when it's so detail oriented that it's like you can only fit it in if it's a puzzle piece, where if it's like a piece of art, like you can create something and you can add elements to it, and you amplify the art, or like you make it even better. Whereas with a puzzle, there's no room for change or additions, or it's like this or nothing. And so I feel like there's like part of this web that you feel kind of trapped in is just the element of control, and how do you kind of break free from that. And you have Kairos and the crone, and I feel like at this point it's just that idea of like just patiently waiting. You're like, I'm just gonna like sit back and see what comes. feel like that's you. I don't know. Let's get some clarifiers. Strength, 9 of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. Yeah, I mean, finding the strength to take, I want to say, like, the positive elements and move toward an offering of love. I don't know. I read the cards. I don't know. It is what it is. Take what resonates, leave the rest. But it's that idea of, finding the strength to move toward, I think, something that had felt like this riddled entanglement. Like, how do I get out of this? How do I move past this? How do I want to say, follow my intuition on this, root myself in my intuition. In terms of manifesting, because that's been, like, a huge part of all of your reads, has just been this idea of, like, the power of manifestation and what does that mean, and being kind of, I want to say, like, misguided in like the context of your manifestation, and coming into an understanding of it, that I think is allowing for you to, I almost want to say, like, untangle the thread, like an image of like a tangled thread or a tangled necklace, like when you have to, like, sit there and pull out piece by piece by piece, because if you try and pull it out, it just gets tighter. Then it's kind of that idea of, like, finding the patience to, like, detangle it. The Ace of Wands, which is a new beginning. I love these cards. They're so beautiful. But I mean, it's kind of that idea, like, in the back of the card, and you can see, like, the trees are dead and the sky is gray, and it's this idea of just, like, bringing things to life, like things coming to life, like on the outskirts of it all. The Five of Wands, the Magician, the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and the Fool. The Five of Wands is my torch it card, but also, like, this illumination, and I almost kind of feel like it's just kind of this like, fuck trying to pull all the threads out. I'm just going to burn this web down out of my way. Or maybe it's just the light. It's the light that allows you to see the threads. Sorry, that feels right. The other one did not. The idea that you can see to pull everything out, so that it's not all tangled up. And then the Magician, and the Page of Pentacles, Knight of Wands, and the Fool. And it's just kind of that idea of, like, creating something I mean, obviously, Page of Wands is a message, taking a message to this person who is kind of setting out on their way. You have the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Wands, my message cards. Messages of change. Wands are, the wands are typically, like the fire energy. So it's that, like that quickness. And the Page of Cups is a little bit slower, but it's got more of a heart message behind it. And then the Magician and the Fool. So, it's just kind of that idea of creating something new. Almost with the stone, the mystic, and the crone. So the Fool in this card has his suitcase of amenities, he's got everything he needs. And I kind of feel like the Fool at this moment in time is coming in as somebody who has a knowing and, following their intuition, and they're rooted in themselves. It's like this self journey, self-awareness, being in tune with yourself, and your intuition. So, while the Fool is embarking on this journey, he's going with a full suitcase. Full, not OOL. But anyways, you get the point. And going and creating something. The Magician is somebody who can create something out of nothing, but honestly, I kind of get the feeling of like the Hierophant, with the Magician and the Fool combined with the Crone and the Mystic. It's just kind of that idea of seeing things for what they are, and I almost want to say patiently taking the time to understand and pull out the threads, detangle everything so that you can move forward with this message. The King of Wands. That's my charge card, but not like the dash. It's if the Knight of Wands is a call to action, the King of Wands is the action. The Queen of Wands, I think, is the one that's sending out the call. It's time to go. Rally the troops. The King of Wands is like, we're off. Off to the races. Two of Swords. Ooh. Ten of Cups and the Ace of Swords. Which again is just kind of that idea of cutting away with this entanglement, seeing how to cut yourself free, and having this new truth of emotional fulfillment. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know. Let's see what else we can get here. Actually, let me do this one. The Ten of Swords, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Sun. The Ten of Swords in the Hidden Realm deck is like the Morgaine coming in and just being like ending it all. like aggressively. I don't know if this is how you feel about what it is to be entangled. You know, like if you exist here, then the only result is the end. You know, maybe that's kind of like what you're understanding. And that you have to cut away with it. You know, that you're seeing that you have to cut away with this ball of confusion. And the Eight of Pentacles is a card that's just kind of like, you know, forging the fire and creating what it is, you know, working towards what it is that you want. Which, I mean, you know, in the sun, I love the story with the sun card in this deck, because it's, you know, he's like, come on, we have to go do these things. And she's like, no, we're going to sit here in this field and I'm going to rub this flower in your chin and, you know, we're just going to enjoy the day. And it's just kind of that idea of like working to, I almost want to say like you're working to try and enjoy where you're at while you're there. I don't know. We'll do one more archetype. Okay. Maybe. The ocean. Bringing it back into balance. I feel like you guys have had the ocean and the sun in like a hot number of your reads. But yeah, I mean, it's that idea of the extremes, and when you bring the extremes together, you know, they come into balance and they create this like beautiful scenery and awe-inspiring. I mean, like the it's kind of like the idea that they meet at the horizon, you know, like they it doesn't matter. Anyways, it's yeah, I mean, that seems to be like the theme of the read, is just coming into an understanding of how you can untangle the mess and working toward finding balance in yourself, and following your intuition and having an understanding and a new truth on what it is to have emotional fulfillment with this person, who is kind of setting out on their way, and you are I want to say setting out with this intention. The end. All right. I hope y'all have a fantastic week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.